Your immigration bus caught dozens of illegal drivers, and some of them with questionable licenses.
Well, that's just a spotlight, Sandra. U.S. roads are inundated with hundreds of thousands of commercial drivers who don't speak English, can't read road signs, don't sleep, and undercut U.S. driver wages by some 70%.
Today, we are putting people who break the law on notice. If you come through these interstations and you're an illegal or breaking the law, you will be handed over to our local or federal partners.
We have got to protect our American citizens.
Trump signed an executive order in April saying truckers who can't speak or read English proficiently will be put out of service.
Every product in your home, the food in your fridge, the phone in your hand, traveled on a truck. In recent weeks, federal immigration authorities pulled thousands of drivers off the road. ICE deportation operations moved from the southern border to weigh stations and interstate checkpoints across Florida, Texas, Georgia, and California. At the start of this campaign, law enforcement made their intentions clear.
I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Thank you, President Donald J. Trump, for securing our border, for deporting criminal illegal immigrants, and for putting America first. President Trump has a clear message for those that are in our country illegally. Leave now. If you don't, we will find you, and we will deport you. You will never return. For too long, weak politicians left our borders wide open. They flooded our communities with drugs, human trafficking, and violent criminals. They put American lives at risk. Well, those days are over. If you leave now, you may have an opportunity to return and enjoy our freedom and live the American dream. But understand this. Under President Trump, America's borders are closed to lawbreakers. Follow the law, and you'll find opportunity. Break it, and you'll find consequences. The choice is yours. America welcomes those who respect our laws, because a strong nation is a safe nation.
Florida became ground zero. State weigh stations stopped checking cargo weight and started checking immigration status. Troopers lined up alongside ICE officers, pulling rigs off the interstate and detaining drivers.
Now, all Florida-run trucking weigh stations will now become an immigration checkpoint.
As a reminder, in Florida, you cannot obtain a driver's license if you are an illegal alien.
The crackdown followed an executive order signed by President Trump in April, resurrecting a dormant federal rule. Truckers must read and speak English well enough to understand road signs and communicate with police. At checkpoints, drivers were tested. Read this sign, describe your cargo, answer basic questions. Fail, and your commercial license got suspended. No legal status? ICE detention.
Trump signed an executive order in April saying truckers who can't speak or read English proficiently will be put out of service.
Officials justified this as road safety.
Today, we are putting people who break the law on notice. If you come through these interstations and you're an illegal or breaking the law, you will be handed over to our local or federal partners.
We have got to protect our American citizens.
Days before the checkpoints launched, a South Florida trucker who struggled with English missed a no U-turn sign. The crash killed 3 people and injured several more.
This deadly U-turn has sparked a crackdown on truck drivers here in the state of Florida. This driver was in the country illegally, but he still had a CDL.
Authorities cited this case repeatedly. But enforcement expanded fast. Investigators found fraudulent licensing schemes, middlemen helping unqualified drivers cheat on exams using hidden cameras. One dump truck was discovered carrying 80 migrants. Each passenger counted as a separate felony. The numbers hit hard. In weeks, more than 2,500 drivers were deported from Florida alone. Thousands more were detained across Texas, Georgia, and California. The trucking industry was already short 80,000 drivers. Agricultural loads rotted in fields. Construction materials stacked up at depots. Freight costs jumped double digits. Small trucking companies lost entire crews in single sweeps. Supermarkets couldn't stock produce. Restaurant suppliers faced meat and poultry delays. Tanker shortages drove up gas prices regionally. Grocery bills climbed. Packages arrived late. Immigrant families were torn apart. Fathers and mothers taken mid-route, shipped to detention centers. Supporters point to reduced accident rates on I-95 and I-75 in Florida since checkpoints began. They argue unqualified drivers are being removed, lives are being saved, smuggling loopholes are closing. Critics call it discriminatory. Immigrant rights advocates say it's destroying communities and worsening labor shortages. Civil rights groups filed lawsuits alleging due process violations and racial profiling. Trucking associations, typically conservative, expressed alarm at the workforce collapse. ICE officials say this is part of a push to reach 1 million deportations annually, with quotas of 3,000 arrests daily. Congress approved $75 billion in new enforcement funding. More than 50,000 people now sit in ICE custody, a record number straining facilities. The government is seeking new detention sites, including military bases like Camp Atterbury in Indiana. If deportations continue at this pace, experts predict the driver shortage could double, leaving America hundreds of thousands short.
Indiana Congressman Andre Carson says he wants answers about whether Camp Atterbury will be used to detain migrants.
And so now we're hearing from his camp as well as those with DHS. The Department of Homeland Security has not mentioned Camp Atterbury by name, that is, but the department says ICE specifically needs more detention space here in Indiana.
Autonomous trucks might fill the gap eventually, but that technology is years away. Every deportation ripples through the supply chain, from farmers to retailers to families. As one analyst put it, every product you touch was once on a truck. With thousands of those trucks now parked or impounded, the consequences show up in grocery stores, warehouses, and homes nationwide. The highways are quieter, emptier, and more uncertain than before.
The world's busiest airport fell silent in an instant. Federal agents from ICE swept through Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, transforming a routine travel day into a massive enforcement operation that would shock the nation. What started as ordinary passengers waiting for flights quickly became the largest document fraud bust in airport history.
They're as bad as the bloodthirsty MS-13 gangs that we have gotten all over the place. We'll get them out.
Over 50 ICE agents in tactical gear flooded the premium airport lounge, immediately locking down all exits and forcing hundreds of travelers to remain in place. For more than 4 hours, no one could enter or leave as federal officers methodically checked every single person's identification. The scene was surreal. Rolling suitcases abandoned mid-terminal. Departure boards still flashing flight times while uniformed agents sectioned off entire gate areas. The results were staggering. When the operation concluded, agents had seized over 2,100 counterfeit passports representing dozens of countries. These weren't amateur forgeries. They were sophisticated documents using advanced 3D printing technology, fake biometric chips, and holograms so precise they had been fooling routine security checks. On the black market, each passport was worth between $5,000 and $10,000, representing a multi-million-dollar criminal enterprise. Now en route to South Korea, it comes after ICE agents detain those workers. The Trump administration has made immigration enforcement a cornerstone of its agenda, promising to deport millions of people in the country without legal status.
I outlined a bold new immigration reform to create prosperity and opportunity for all of our people. We will begin removing the more than 2 million criminal illegal immigrants from the country. Deport all criminal aliens and dismantle every last criminal gang and cartel threatening our citizens. We will find you, we will arrest you, we will jail you, and we will deport you.
This Atlanta operation was part of a coordinated nationwide sweep that hit multiple cities simultaneously.